Happy Friday, Grizzlies. I'm Mr. Gellner, coming to you from my living room.
And I'm Mrs. Kaufman, coming to you from my kitchen. Welcome to GNN News, Quarantine Edition.
This is our 5th teacher edition, and we've got some sweet news coming your way.
Stay tuned because GNN News starts now. This year we had an awesome challenge called Idaho Battle of the Books. It was a very competitive event. Let's go to Mrs. Gardner with some information on Idaho Battle of the Books.
Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Gardner. I'm here to send a big shout out to a group of kids who worked really hard all year in a program that was cut short when we were forced to leave school. Program was the Idaho Battle of the Books, the IBOB group. It's like sports, but with books. This is a program where kids read a selection of books, each team, and then they get to compete against each other, kind of like in a quiz bowl format, to try to be the top team to go to the regional tournament. Unfortunately, that tournament was canceled. When school was canceled, it was supposed to be the next weekend, so we just barely missed it. The first team that was competing were the Frickin' Demigods with Oscar S., Sydney H., Holland S., Alta Z., and Karina F. The second team were the question marks. They couldn't come up with a name or agree on one, so, they just went with it. We have Bowen L., Hayes D., Charles S., and McCullough W. So, Battle of the Books is set up to start again next year. They have already chosen the titles that students will read. You could go to idahobattleofthebooks.org to get more information. There's a ton of stuff on that website. And get a start on next year's titles. There's all kinds, graphic novels, fantasy, realistic, a little bit of everything. And I bet you've probably read one or two on that list already. But again, I do want to say congratulations to that group. They spent from October to March competing and reading books and quizzing against each other. And unfortunately, the season ended early. But I'm excited to see some of them next year and hopefully some of you next year as well.
Congratulations to this year's winners of Battle of the Books. All right, Grizzlies, we've seen some awesome cribs. This week's crib is no different. Check out this sweet pad.
Well, hi, I'm Mrs. McKinney, and I'd like to show you my crib. Come on over. So this is my 1980 Volkswagen van. And it's air-cooled, so it tops out at about 55 miles an hour with a tailwind. So let me show you what powers us. Powered by optimism. That's so the people behind us know why we're going so slow. All right, come on in. I want to show you the inside. So the first room I'm going to show you is our kitchen. So come have a look. So we've got our stove. This is a 2-burner propane stove inside. We've got our sink with running water. If you're at a campground, you can hook up to. We've got a drawer for silverware, a pantry, an electric fridge that works, and we've got our cupboard here that we keep our dishes in. So it's just like anybody else's home. All right, the next thing I want to show you is the dining area. So let me set up the table. I gotta get the table leg. Okay. Here's the table leg, and then you just put the tabletop on like this. All right, and then when you're ready to eat, after you make that great meal on the stove, you just get out your plate and your cup and you're ready to go. Now, if you want to have company over for dinner, let me show you how you can make that happen by turning the passenger seat into a dining chair. All right, and now I've got my company. After a great dinner in the dining room, then you can put your dishes over here in the sink to wash, and then you can play a game in the living room. So, how about we get a game out? Awesome. This will be fun. And then it's called Unstable Unicorns. Can you bring the nay button over here too? Awesome. Here we go. Okay. The next thing I'd like to show you after I put away the living room is the guest bedroom, because when you have company, sometimes they need a place to sleep. All right, now that the table is put away, right here, I am going to show you the guest bedroom. So it's upstairs. Let me show you the way here. All right, and then to get upstairs, I'm gonna have my guest show you the staircase. So go on up. The upstairs guest bedroom has a great view no matter where you are and always has lots of natural lighting. All you have to do is unzip the zipper.
Hi.
All right, and now for our last room, I'm going to show you the master bedroom. So let me get some reading material here and come on in. All right, so here's our the master bedroom. There's some pillows here, and the couch just converts into the rest of a bed. There's some curtains here, so you can, make it nice and dark if you want to go to sleep. And they just snap like that. And grab my book and take a nap. Thanks for coming to my crib.
Thanks, Mrs. McKinney, for sharing your awesome crib. I wish I had a crib like that. I'd go sleep there on my lunch break.
Mr. Gellner isn't kidding. I bet he really would do that. And a big shout out to Aaron Holt for bringing us sports analysis and updates. We truly appreciate you producing a sports show on a weekly basis. Without further ado, let's take it to Aaron.
Hi everybody and welcome back to GSPN. I'm your host Aaron Holt, and today I have my top 8 NFL games in 2020 between weeks 1 and 12. So the NFL's released its 2020 NFL schedule, and I'd like to break down the top 8 games in the first 12 weeks. So we're starting with 2 action-packed games in week 1. The first one is between the Chargers and the We're starting with 2 action-packed games in week 1, both quarterback duels. If you don't know from the draft, the Bengals and the Chargers selected a quarterback in the first round respectively, those being Joe Burrow, 1st overall, and Justin Herbert, 6th overall. It just so happens that those 2 teams are playing each other in 2020. So it will be interesting to see Burrow and Herbert duel it out and what's to be an action-packed game. The next game is between This game will be a classic duel between Brady and Breeze, 2 veterans, and their action-packed offenses. Our next action-packed game comes in week 5. where we have Joe Burrow and the Bengals taking on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. There will be lots of action-packed offense here, as well as some very good defensive play. Our next game is in Week 6. We have Aaron Rodgers and the Packers against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. It's going to be a classic quarterback shootout with lots of action-packed offense and not as much defense. Our next game is in Week 7, where we have Justin Herbert and the Chargers against Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. Expect a lot of action-packed offense play, as well as some defense. In Week 9, we have Aaron Rodgers and the Packers against Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers, an NFC Championship rematch. Look for this one to be one of the best in the season. We have an interesting situation here in Week 11, where we have the number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow, and his Bengals against the number 2 overall pick, Chase Young and the Redskins. Look for Young to chase Burrow just a little bit more than he would usually. And finally in Week 12, we have Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both of these quarterbacks have thrown 50 touchdowns at some point in their career in a season. We're looking for some electric offense in this one. This concludes this week's edition of GSPN. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Stay tuned as we will have more information about the 2020 fall sports season, along with information from our awesome AD and head heavyweight football coach, Mr. Lannon. Students, we admire your work throughout the school year, and we appreciate your patience and understanding through these crazy times. So we want to share some core shout-outs and words of wisdom.
Hi there, Grizzlies. Miss Schultz here, and I'd like to share a couple of shout-outs for some of our Grizzlies who are doing an awesome job practicing River Glen's core values. And our first shout out is from Mrs. Laurie Naga in room 116. And she says, I want to give a big Grizzly shout out to Ava Freeland. She's kind to everyone around her, often volunteering to help her peers with personal or academic struggles. She's someone you can count on. Her competitive spirit keeps her going even when things get tough. It is this spirit that has helped her stay focused and organized through all the chaos of the last few weeks. She attends online classes with several of her teachers in an effort to continue her learning. What an awesome job you're doing, Ava. Way to finish strong. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Latiana McCullum because she has just been doing such an amazing job making sure she stays caught up with turning in her assignments every week and with reaching out whenever she has questions or just needs a little bit more explanation to get her assignments done. And she's been attending all of our weekly class meetings as well. So nice work, ladies. Keep up the hard work and have a great week.
We truly care and admire all of you.
This week in history, 1942. The United States begins rationing gasoline. Who would have thought that 78 years later, we'd be rationing toilet paper?
Quote of the day: learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning and keep living. Albert Einstein. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe to the GNN News channel on the lower right and keep watching as next week will mark the last GNN News of the year. Tune in for that.
See you next week on
GNN News.
And remember, it's a great day to be a Grizzly. I wonder if my lunch is ready. You guys making lunch?